Hello friends and welcome to Jekyll Island, Georgia. This is the oldest building in all of Georgia. It's built in 1736 by Major William Horton. Let's go check it out. And this informational placard right out front, quite a bit. A couple of nice placards, one donated by his descendants. In 1736, William Horton arrived here in Georgia. He arrived here on Jekyll Island. He was the only inhabitant of this entire island. His closest neighbor was kind of nearby now by car at Fort Frederica. And also there were some people that lived pretty close by across the water at St. Simon's. It took Mr. Horton 2 years to complete this property. And he returned eventually 5 years after his arrival to pick up his family back in England. William wasn't the only one to live here with his family. There were also some other families of note that occupied this property and did some work to it over the years. Concrete on the walls. Originally this was a wooden structure. It's been resupported and built onto, but this is it. You can see some people have carved their names and their loves into the wall over the years. This house used to have 2 bedrooms upstairs, and on either side of the house there was a fireplace. Tabby is a building material that was used for walls and floors and roofs here in coastal Georgia. It was made of equal parts sand, lime, and oyster shell. You mix it together and it's kind of like a concrete. This is it. Right here under the sign. You can see it here on the upper part of the building as well. You can see some people have done some work to keep it restored even in recent years by supporting these window frames. Some more information in the back of the home about William and his family. Major William Horton came to Georgia under the supervision of James Oglethorpe from the British military. Because he did such a good job in the military, he was given the rank of commander and took over all of Georgia for the British Army. This is not only the oldest building in Georgia, this is the oldest brewery in Georgia. You see, William was a brewer, and it turns out that the water around here was not good to drink. So he provided beer for all the people on the island. He grew all of his own grains right here on this property to make his own brew. There is other foundations on this property from buildings that used to be here, and there was assumably a meat house and a brew house on this property as well. So we're not sure if it was actually in this building that beer was ever brewed or in a separate brew house, but this is the property, at least, possibly the building, where some of the first beers ever made in this state of Georgia came out of. Now, I'm always looking for good breweries and haunted places and abandoned places, historic places, and this nailed all of those things. What a cool building, and completely accessible to anybody who wants to come check it out. You can walk up through it and touch the walls. Please don't carve your name into the walls like many people have over the years, but you know, feel free to experience the place. William Horton himself most likely had handfuls of these shells and lime in his hands, mixing this, making it what it is today. I love exploring these old buildings. I like just wondering what happened inside them and feeling the walls and seeing what the material is they use to build it with. There's probably thousands of stories of things that happened here with the Horton family and other 3 families that lived here over the years. A cool building. Sometime after the Revolutionary War, Julian de Bignon, another military person of note, got this house and remodeled it. And he was here for quite some time with his family. Him along with a couple other families over time that owned this house, but he was the last of the families. And they were buried right here in a family cemetery. To get to the cemetery, you're gonna have to cross the street. Just follow the pathway. It's easy to follow. Bignon was an officer in the French military, died in 1814 after owning this for quite some time after the Revolutionary War. His family and several others from his community are buried here, a couple of officers and some locals. He himself is not actually buried in this cemetery. He is buried somewhere nearby with an oak tree as his only grave marker. Some information about the Bignon family cemetery. Another historical marker you can read about Bignon, his life. Quite a long name, isn't it? In 1794, Bignon acquired this property, and in 1889, his family, the inheritance, sold this to a group of millionaires that turned Jekyll Island into what it is today. And when I say sold this, I mean the entire island. He owned the entire island of Jekyll Island. That's pretty amazing. That's a lot of land, and beautiful too. Look at this view. The information I've read online states that there are some more buried in there, but there's only 5 grave markers in this cemetery. So I'm not sure where the others would be, and I'm certainly not sure where the oak tree where Mr. Bignon is buried. But if I did, I would show it to you. I think that would be very cool. Friends, thanks for joining me today on this very cool adventure to the oldest building in Georgia and the oldest brewery in Georgia. This is very cool, the Horton House. Everything I read about William Horton and Bignon was really nice. They said they were virtuous men, men of honor, nice things like that. The other 2 families, I didn't find out much information on them, but from what I know, the people that occupied this house over the years were good people. I mean, William Horton made beer and gave it away to all the people that lived on the island. That was pretty cool. I'd love to know what some of that beer tasted like. Well, friends, if you like what you're seeing here, you know what to do. Hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know you're there. Friends, I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Friends, we're headed back into Florida for a whole new set of adventures. I'm excited about it. You should be too. I'll see you in the next video.